Yo! What's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMG, WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. We are playing as the WWF in the year 2001. More importantly, we are booking the Invasion angle, and we'll be running Monday Night Raw tonight. The Raw after Unforgiven, which, it's been a couple days. This isn't a Monday, obviously. For those of you watching in the past, I uploaded this on a Thursday, or actually not a Thursday, a Friday. But, it's definitely been a couple of days since, at least almost a week by now, actually, since I've actually recorded Unforgiven. And, it was a good pay-per-view. I don't want the main event to make it seem like it was a bad pay-per-view, because up and before the main event, and the main event wasn't bad either, it was just underwhelming. But up before the main event, we were actually having a lot of good matches. Undertaker and the Giant killed it in the Hell in a Cell. RVD and Booker T surprised me with a B+ when I thought we'd get a B at most likely a B-. A lot of guys gave it their all last night. Or not, well, technically last night, I guess, since this is Raw. Just because Austin, Jericho, Rock, and Triple H didn't deliver even close to what I thought they were going to deliver, that doesn't mean Unforgiven was a bad pay-per-view, despite, of course, it being our worst pay-per-view so far, if you look at the ratings or whatever it's called on the one screen where you can see the top 100 matches or stuff like that. Anyway, Unforgiven, basically what I'm trying to say, wasn't bad. It's definitely been a little while since we've had Unforgiven up, and I've heard a lot of you guys giving me your opinions on what you felt went wrong. And I haven't really gotten a solid answer from anybody. It could have been the spectacle rating in there. That might have had a reasoning, which it seems like any time I try to use these stupid extra add-ins, like spectacle or anything, it always comes back and bites me in the ass, dude. It's like storytelling is the only one that actually works, it seems like. And then Wild Brawl sometimes. But, yeah, some people say it's the spectacle that might have done it. It could have been the time length. I mean, we did go 30 minutes. If you ask me, I felt 30 minutes was a good amount of time for all four of those men to get in their spots and look good. But it could have been the time. I forget, there was some other thing some other people said, but it seems like there's a lot of factors. Oh, the other thing is that I didn't apparently give the crowd enough time to cool down, which is something I actually read in the Road Agent report. That kind of confuses me a little bit. I'm not sure if it's the RVD match that kind of kept them above the crowd. I didn't think a B+ would actually keep the crowd fired up, but then again, I could be wrong there. I also thought putting in the rivalry video package, the video packages before the matches would also help cool the match down. I didn't think I legitimately had to have something cool it down. I thought maybe, because that's what I've been doing, and it's been working in the past as well, is just putting an angle or two in between the matches to kind of have the crowd cool down a little bit. But it didn't work this time, so definitely going to have to keep an eye on that. Unforgiven is in the past, though, and we are going to be moving towards our next pay-per-view in October now, which is No Mercy, so that's something to look forward to. Also, before we actually get officially started on the show, I mean, I know I've been rambling here for around almost, 3 to 5 minutes, but I just kind of want to explain why Raw has been on a little bit of, it has been missing, I should say. It wasn't uploaded on Monday like I normally try to do. I try to get Raws up on Mondays, Nitro up on Thursdays, and Heat and the pay-per-views up on Sundays, just to kind of follow with the actual schedule. I didn't really get it up on this Sunday for 2 reasons mostly. Actually, 3 reasons. Let's go 3 reasons. 1, I usually like to let the pay-per-view sit a little longer. That way, for those of you who don't watch right away, can get a chance to see the pay-per-view before I'm already on Thursday night Nitro already, and you're still behind on a 30-minute episode of Raw, whatever it is. Also, I did go to the Elimination Chamber this past Sunday. It was great. I loved it. What a great pay-per-view. I even found myself on TV. Don't want to brag. I might, make a update video or something to showcase where I was. But you can't really see me, by the way. It's just like a blurry picture, but still, you know what I mean. It was a great pay-per-view. I didn't get home until late Monday, so I didn't really want to upload Monday Night Raw when Raw was already kind of or not Raw, but Monday was already halfway through. So that was one of my reasonings there. And then Tuesday through Thursday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I've had 6 o'clock shifts at work, meaning I had to get up at 5, and I didn't get off work till 3, and I've just been kind of been beat down after doing the pay-per-view, and then these 3-6 shifts right off. I'm finally off. I've had a day off, got Raw booked now, and I'm ready. So I think what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to upload Raw today on Friday, Nitro tomorrow on Saturday if I can get it booked all in time, and then Heat on Sunday. That way we can go back to the normal schedule with Raw being uploaded on Monday. I know that's 4 videos in a row, but it'll help us get us back on schedule, and that's just even if I can get Nitro booked in time. I might not be able to do it in time and have to delay it even longer. Either way, hope you guys understand. I'm sure you don't mind as long as the videos go up either way. They will be up this week, though. We will catch up. Either way, let's go ahead and run the show. We've been rambling long enough. We have a total of 2 pre-show matches tonight, and our first pre-show match actually does pretty good. We get a 72 B- as Sandman continues to go down, down, down with these DQs as he takes on Lance Storm tonight in a 5 minutes, 40 seconds match that ends with DQ once again when Sandman pulls out his trusty Singapore cane and decks Lance Storm right between the eyes, leading to a DQ. So Sandman had a 51, Lance Storm with a 77, and due by the rating of this match, I don't think Sandman was drunk. No, he was. Huh. Good for you, Lance Storm. That's impressive. Lance Storm managed to get a B- rating with a drunk Sandman. Good on you. But Sandman finally was drunk, so we caught him. We probably, could have had this match start off the show, but I kind of didn't want Sandman being in the main event of anything. So I went ahead and had Head Chop battle our developmental tag team of the Haas brothers, Charlie Haas and Russ Haas, which gets a 52 D+. Before we get on to explaining this match, I want to cover Russ Haas for a second. A while back in one of our episodes, it was revealed that Russ Haas suffered a heart attack. Now, I mentioned that was just in the game, and I had a lot of you guys correct me and say, no, it happened in real life. I understand that it happened in real life. I know Russ Haas unfortunately passed away, I believe it was in December, due to the heart attack, too, I believe. And it's a tragedy. And it's something that this mod creator put in here. A lot of mod people like to do that. We've seen it already in this mod before with Stephanie, getting bigger boobs, so on and so forth. So we've seen it happen before. It's nothing new. I'm not going to acknowledge it too much, kind of like with the 9/11 thing. I mean, I did kind of acknowledge Stephanie's boobs getting bigger, but that was just because I couldn't resist Jericho doing it. Either way, pretty much what I'm trying to get at here is Russ Haas isn't injured. He didn't suffer a heart attack in the game. Yes, it did happen in real life, but as of right now in the game, he's not 100% healthy because, as we can see right here, he did suffer an injury in this match. But we'll get to it when we get to it. But Russ Haas, he most likely isn't going to die at the end of this year like he did in real life. He will probably be able to use both the Haas brothers. Unless something crazy happens, I wouldn't say that Russ Haas is going to pass away or anything. He seems like he's fine. Although, he did suffer a damaged knee cartilage. That sucks. So we have a pre-show match that had terrible wrestling, non-existent crowd heat. Head Chop, the team of Al Snow and Funaki, go on to defeat the Haas brothers when Funaki defeats Russ Haas with the Fisherman Buster. Al Snow was, of course, the better athlete above everybody, head and shoulders. So he did have the knee cartilage injury, unfortunately. Funaki with a 47, Al Snow with a 64, Russ with a 30, and Charlie with a 32. Funaki is also improving in performance, so that's awesome. Haas did suffer the injury, but it seems like nobody was angry about it. Just seems like it happened. Either way, we start off with a 100 A-star segment, Nerds and Geeks. And this is, of course, we have Unforgiven's video recap playing, showing all the events that happened. The video finishes, and once Monday Night Raw starts, Stone Cold Steve Austin's music hits, and out comes the former WWF champion. He storms to the ring, and once in the ring, he quickly takes the mic and he says, "All right, cut the damn music. Now, Stone Cold ain't in a damn mood tonight, in case you all missed it. Stone Cold was screwed. And not only was Stone Cold screwed, he was set up. We all know that it was originally supposed to be him versus The Rock. But since old Stone Cold beat the all-living hell out of Rock at WrestleMania, Foley didn't want a repeat. So then he added the whining crybaby Chris Jericho. And then he was peer-pressured, and they're putting Triple H in the match. And next thing I know, my one-on-one match is now a damn fatal four-way. Well, that ain't gonna slide. Foley, I know you're covering for The Rock, because you two are good friends. But Rocky, you can bet your ass at No Mercy Stone Cold Steve Austin is getting his title back. That's when Chris Jericho's music hits, and out comes the Ayatollah of Rock and Roll, who makes his way into the ring. And once into the ring, he takes the mic and he says, we got to pull up our notepad here because we ran out of room. And he goes on to say, you know, Austin, you're a lot like The Rock. You automatically assume that you're next in the line, all because you're the former champion. Well, it's time to face the reality, Baldy. You lost your title, so now it's the back of the line for you, pal. Besides, Rocky and I have some unfinished business, so if anyone's getting the Rock at No Mercy, it's Chris Jericho, baby! What? Are you joking? You think you should get a title shot? You were the one pinned last night. If it wasn't for you, I'd still have my damn championship. You should have been getting a title shot. You should be getting an ass whooping courtesy of the Texas Rattlesnake. And that's when we have Jericho respond saying, Careful for it what you wish for, Stone Cold. I had you beat last night after I hit you with the most impressive jawbreaker anyone has ever seen, the Codebreaker. If anything, you should be thanking Rock, because if it wasn't for him, I would have pinned your shoulder to the mats last night for the 3, and I'd be the new WWF champion, as I should be. So now we have Jericho and Austin. They get in each other's faces. They're exchanging words with each other. Things are getting heated, and that's when we hear, yo, it's me, it's DDP. And WCW's Diamond Dallas Page makes a surprising appearance on Monday Night Raw as he stands at the entryway and he says, Jericho, Austin, enough of the fighting already, boys. It's not even worth it. And then Jericho says, the hell you want, Page? I know you're getting old, but it's Monday, not Thursday. Go back to Nitro. Page laughs it off. He says, that's funny. You're a funny guy, Jericho. No, I'm well aware what day it is and what show we're on. You know, I'm out here because you two are having a conversation that I want to be in. Because while you may have your rematch clause, Stone Cold, and you may have beef with him, Chris Jericho, but unlike the both of you, I've got The Rock's number. I'm up 2-1 against him. And the last thing I told that man is that if he wanted his rematch, that it would be on my terms. Well, now that he's the WWF champion, it seems my terms have been met. And now we have all three men going back and forth. Austin, Jericho kind of laughing it off at DDP. DDP firing back. All three men are going back and forth. And that's when Commissioner Foley's music hits. And out he comes and he says, no way are we doing this again. Look, you three want a title shot. That's fine. You'll get your shot to earn your title shots. I don't care about the beefs or the terms or the rematch clauses. Tonight, if you three want a title shot against The Rock at No Mercy, then you'll have to earn it by beating the other two in a triple threat match. Because tonight, it'll be Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Chris Jericho versus Diamond Dallas Page, and the winner gets Rock at No Mercy. No match next week or the week after tonight. Either you win tonight or you get to the back of the line. And that'll set up our main event of the night, Nerds and Geeks. Of course, Austin apparently invented a new catchphrase, so that's good for him. Not sure what it would be. Maybe the has become catching on. Either way, crowd got off to a strong start. Angle got the crowd off to a strong start, I should say, whatever. Austin was good. We see some question marks here. So the Rock storyline has started, but we don't know which of these three men he'll be facing. And it seems like another storyline has started here, so we may be seeing one of these four men get into a feud with each other. No worker improvements, though. So I'm going to go ahead. A part of me wants to go ahead and turn Jericho heel because I can see the fans kind of turning on him right now, and he's starting to get to that point to where he's a heel. Another part of me is saying, like, it's not official yet. It's still being built up. So I think I got to figure out when I officially want to turn him heel because I wanted to use The Rock, but now, I kind of missed my chance at Unforgiven, I feel. Could always move on, a little later and have Jericho turn on The Rock sometime there. We'll hold off on it now, but I gotta think of a time period I want to turn him because I feel like I should have done it at Unforgiven. For some reason, I just didn't do it for some reason. I don't know why. I feel stupid for not doing it. Either way, let's move on. We're not going to turn Jericho tonight. We do have, going on here, just the announcement that we will indeed see Austin battle Jericho battling DDP for the number one contendership for the WWF Championship. Also, the announcers put over that we will hear from The Rock tonight. The first time we hear from him since he became the record-setting 7-time WWF champion. That's a thing, by the way. But also coming up next, the WWF Tag Team Championships will be on the line as TNA will defend their tag team titles against Jeff and Matt of the Hardy Boys. So we move on to our opening match, of the night, which gets a 77 B rating here, a solid B rating, and about that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. TNA go on to defeat the Hardy Boys when we had a disqualification. So I don't know why it says TNA defeated the Hardy Boys. Say what you want, but I'd imagine this being more of a thrown-out type of match. But go on, say what you'd like. Basically, Power Plant, Mark Jindrak, and Shawn Stasiak came out and made their presence known when they attacked both members of TNA and both members of the Hardy Boys, costing the match, pretty much getting it thrown out. So TNA still making their presence known here right now. Of course, Matt and Jeff having excellent chemistry. Not enough psychology shown in the match, unfortunately. Either way, though, we move on. Test with an 82. Albert, the weakest performer of the night, with a 77. Jeff with an impressive 88. Matt Hardy with an even more impressive 90. Good on you guys. Albert also improving in performance, so good on you there. We then move on to the next segment, which gets an 86 B+. Hell yes. WCW's Power Plant, they're continuing to make the impact as they've dispatched of TNA out of the ring already, tossing both Tess and Albert out of there, while the Hardys try and fight back against Shawn Stasiak and Mark Jindrak. Of course, Power Plant proves too powerful as they take out Jeff Hardy, and then they they take out Matt Hardy, and they hit Jeff Hardy with the Power Plant Bomb, their finish, which we do have an official finish for it now. One of you nerds and geeks came up with a brilliant idea, and I love it. I'm stealing it. I told you I was. So basically, it's kind of like a pop-up power bomb, except Shawn Stasiak is the one doing the pop-up as he ducks under him, so he kind of like tosses the person over him while, going under them. Mark Jindrak catches them in the air and then plants them down with the Power Plant Bomb. And Jeff's just taken out, and you have Power Plant. They're standing over the fallen Hardys as Regal then takes the mic, and he says, "This here is a message to any tag team that dares to step up to Power Plant. These young men refuse to wait for their future. Trish, you she-devil, you and your scoundrels may have squeaked by last night at Unforgiven, but I promise you the next time our teams meet, the end result will not be the same. But until then, no one else will be getting a shot at you two. And that includes the Hardys, because you two will only fall by the hands of Mark Jindrak and Shawn Stasiak." So just a quick little promo to continue this feud going and possibly adding in the Hardys. Kind of throwing them under there a little bit. It did get the crowd hotter. Regal underperforming, unfortunately, but it gained heat for the tag team feud here. No worker improvements. I did have Jindrak and Stasiak based on Menace, so it's impressive to see them do as well as they did. I also had everybody else based on pretty much selling. So impressive all around, guys. Good on you. This did this well, and all four of you are based on selling, and you two are based on Menace Entertainment for you, but you underperformed. Not too bad. Good on you. Moving to the next segment, we get an A rating, solid A 93. We're backstage. We're with Stone Cold. We're with Rhino. We're with Deborah. Austin, he's upset. He's throwing stuff around backstage when Rhino steps up and he says, "What's wrong, boss?" And Austin says, "What? What's wrong? I'll tell you what's wrong. Didn't you see what Foley did? He put me in a match against that cryberry Chris Jericho and that scumbag DDP. Tonight to earn my title match when I'm already owed a damn title match." Rhino says, "Boss, don't worry about it. Once I take care of Christian next and go on to become the #1 contender for the United States Championship, I'll be right by your side in the main event tonight to ensure that the right man wins." And then Austin stares at Rhino and says, "Oh, damn it, you're right, Rhino. I'm so lucky to have you. Now you go out there and you show Christian how a gore feels." And that kind of, adds a little bit more story to the night's main event, while also introducing our next match, which will be for the #1 contendership for the U.S. title between Austin's protege, Rhino, and Rhino's former friend, Christian. Austin, of course, was fantastic. Deborah's improving in acting. So I had both Austin and Rhino on entertainment, while Deborah was based on sex appeal. I hope I did this right. Thank God. For a second, I was a little worried I did not put this angle after this, and it was just going to go to the match, because I felt like I put it before. Either way, Triple H, he's arrived to the arena, and Michael Cole, who was right there, immediately approaches the game, and he says, Triple H, real quick, I just wanted to get a few words from you on your thoughts about what happened last night. And then Triple H says, Last night was just like every other night. I was screwed. But this time, I'm not going to go out there and demand a title shot, because it doesn't matter how many title shots I get. I'm always going to get screwed. So now, I'm going to go screw the screwer, which sounds dirty. And for Rhino's safety, he better hope I don't find him. So Triple H is looking for Rhino. He's sick of Rhino screwing him out of the title match, and it pretty much what we heard from him right there. It's time that he's going to go beat up, or, screw the person who's been screwing him. So there you have it. Triple H looked excellent. Cole underperformed, but it does officially start our Triple H Rhino storyline. So we move on to the next segment, which is the number one contenders match. We get a 69 C+ rating. 69 C+ rating. Don't really know why I put the question marks here if I had Triple H and Rhino right there. Either way, we have good wrestling here and a decent reaction from the crowd. Christian goes on to defeat Rhino with the quick roll-up, maybe even grabbing the tights of Rhino after Triple H distracts him. So I'd imagine Rhino may be going for a gore. Triple H's music hits. Rhino then stands there, at the ropes, stupidly seeing Triple H come down as he's like begging him, come on down, I'll beat the hell out of you. Christian gets a quick roll-up for the gore. 1, 2, 3. The number one contender for Edge's championship. We even had Edge on commentary here, so Edge was on commentary, moving along his feud. This is our first official match booked in for No Mercy, as we will see brother versus brother once again as Edge battles his tag team partner / brother Christian to defend his newly won United States Championship. WCW United States Championship match. It's interesting to see that we have a WCW title on the line, but it's two WWF guys fighting for it. So look at that. Christian's officially in the match. He had a rating of a 77. Rhino with an 81, and it gained heat for both our feuds here. So this is Edge versus Christian, just so we all know. No worker improvements, but we move on past the match to an 84 B+. The bell is being rung. Triple H does not care, as he's now in the ring, and him and Rhino are going at it. He's continuing. I guess apparently I thought Triple H interfered when I said distraction. So whatever. We'll just say pretty much Triple H is down the ring. Him and Rhino are going at it. Triple H gains the advantage. He's beating down on Rhino, tossing him all over the arena, into the steel steps, into the fan barricade, beating him down, hitting him with pretty much everything, and then eventually he tears apart the announce table, puts Rhino on top of it, and puts him through it with a pedigree, and then grabbing him by the hair as Rhino just lays there unconsciously as he says, This is just the beginning. And there you have it. So Rhino and Triple H, this would kind of officially start the feud right here. This is like the official. We've seen them fight each other. But Triple H getting pretty much just the beginning of his revenge in the play here, as not only did he cost Rhino a chance at the United States title, but he took him out, presumably for the rest of the night. So maybe Rhino won't be there to help Stone Cold tonight. It did gain some heat for the rivalry, so that's good. And Triple H was fantastic. No worker improvements, unfortunately. We move on to our next match of the night, which gets an abysmal rating, an abysmal match, I should say, as Jacqueline goes on to defeat our local hired talent of the night, Jillian Hall, with a submission with 2 minutes and 16. Whatever. It gets a 38 D-, so there you have it. I'm sure everyone knows who Jillian Hall is. I mean, I don't know if you can recognize her without a microphone on her face, or her singing horribly, or maybe even some big old boil that the boogeyman hasn't ate yet. Either way, we are indeed getting in the women. I don't give the women enough love, and it's nothing personal. It's just more of a... I have so many other things that I'm booking right now that the women are like last on my mind. It's not like they get ratings for me to where I'm like, yes, I gotta put them in there. But I really need to start focusing a lot more on the women. So either way, we are going to go on and try to focus on the women. I got a storyline pretty much to explain why we haven't seen them in the past month. Either way, 38 D-. Jillian Hall with an abysmal 8, an 8 rating in the ring. That's horrible. Jackie with a 54, clearly carrying this match. She's also improving in performance. Jacqueline then takes the mic after the match. She gets a 57 C- for this angle, and she says, "You've got to be kidding me. Is this it? Is this the best competition in women's wrestling today? You see, You see what we get when women have an inspiration like Lita? Little fragile Lita, who is still the women's champion despite getting injured again when I beat her down. And Lita, when your ass returns, you better know that I'm going to beat you down again and take that women's championship so women can have a true inspiration to look up to. And that's when Lita's music hits and she makes her surprise return to Monday Night Raw. She comes out wearing a neck brace, showing off, the injuries she has suffered because of Jacqueline again. But that's when she reveals that she's no longer injured as Jackie continues to mock her, and she makes her way to the ring. And then once in the ring, Jackie asks her, "What you gonna do?" And that's when Lita finally reveals she's no longer injured. I jumped the gun there a little bit. She rips off the neck brace. She reveals she's not injured anymore, and Jackie, kind of caught off guard, she quickly goes for a clothesline to take out Lita once again, but Lita ducks, takes Jacqueline down, and begins the rain, strikes down onto her, while Jackie tries to pull herself away, grabs the rope, and manages to get away from her, leaving the ring and fleeing the women's champion as Lita stands there tall in the middle of the ring while Jackie kind of backpedals up the ramp, showing that this rivalry is indeed going on. And look at this. It gained some heat, which is not surprising considering it had like an F heat on it, so good for you girls. Not too bad of a rating either, if I say so myself, for a women's match. This did really good well. Wow. An 80 or a 90 rating for Chuck Palumbo promo. I mean, I know Taker's in this, but Chuck Palumbo and Stacy, there you go. Either way, Taker, I guess we're back from commercial break. I didn't edit all this because, well, I did edit a little bit, but I didn't do the little beginning thing because my buddy Chris writes the Undertaker promos usually, with me doing a little editing here and there. Either way, Taker, back from commercial break, his music hits, out he comes racing on the bike, the announcers put over the Hell in a Cell last night, and how the Undertaker defeated the Giant. Once in the ring, Taker takes the mic and he says, "Well, it seems to me that the Giant was slain at Unforgiven by the dead man. I kept my promise when I beat the hell out of Giant at Unforgiven, and took him to a side of hell no one has ever seen before. So Shane McMahon, it seems to me your plans of taking me out have failed. But you see, I know there's still a bounty out on my head. So for the next soul that Shane McMahon decides to throw at me, you better hope that the first blow takes me out. Because you're stepping up to the dead man, and I'll make your ass famous. So whoever you may be, let's see if you can do what the Giant couldn't do, and get the job done. I'm right here, and I ain't going nowhere." So Taker calling out pretty much the next person. He acknowledges that even though the Giant is gone, Shane McMahon still wants him gone. He still wants the dead man gone, pretty much. So Taker calls out whoever wants, to step up for Shane's, bounty on my head. Here you go. So Taker stands in the ring. He's waiting to see if anyone wants to step up and take his challenge. And that's when Chuck Palumbo and Stacy Keibler come out. And Stacy takes the mic and she says, Taker, you're not wrong. The bounty on your head is still out there, and it's getting bigger and bigger by the minute. And unlike the Giant, Chuck Palumbo followed through on his promise. And now we got to go to our notepad here to find out what his promise was. And he says, his follow through on his promise when he took out Kurt Angle last night at Unforgiven. Just like he's going to take you out tonight as well, and add you to the growing list of victims to Chuck Palumbo's future. And then Taker says, well, damn, is that so? Get your ass down here and let's do this, boy. And that sets up for our next match of the night as Chuck Palumbo steps up to pretty much challenge Taker and try to take him out for the bounty that he has on his head. Taker was good. Keibler was underwhelming. No worker improvements. We move on to our next match, and I believe this is our Wild Brawl match of the night. Yes, our Wild Brawl match of the night, and about that had good wrestling and good heat. The Undertaker goes on to defeat Chuck Palumbo in 9 minutes, 48 seconds, when Chuck Palumbo intentionally gets himself disqualified. So Palumbo doesn't care about winning this match. He's looking to take the Undertaker out, and while things are starting to look bad for him, I'd imagine maybe he grabs a weapon that Stacy slid into him, or just straight up kicks Taker in the nuts. One of the two. He does it right in front of the referee, getting disqualified, intentionally in a way, and we'll continue this on in the next angle. But before we get there, we go to an 84 B+ for this match. Good rating for these guys. Might be Chuck Palumbo's best match. Taker with a 94, Chuck with a 74. Any worker improvements? Unfortunately not. I was hoping Palumbo would get a little bit of improvements by working with the Taker, or with the Undertaker, I should say. He was, Undertaker was, suited for the match, so that's good. So he's good for Wild Brawl matches. Chuck Palumbo apparently is not. So that's a shame. Stamina. Who's got stamina? Chuck Palumbo? He tired or something? Either way, I don't want to read too much into it. Good match, guys. We move on to our next segment, which gets an A-star, 100 rating. Hell yes. 100 rating. That's amazing. Chuck Palumbo, he's continuing to send his message to the dead man as he's taking him down, beating him down. Despite being disqualified, he's continuing the attack, looking to, beat Taker down and get that bounty, but Taker doesn't back down at all as he starts getting back up and he trades rights and lefts with Chuck Palumbo before taking him out of the ring and posing for the crowd to end off the show, or not end off the show, I should say, but posing with the crowd while Chuck Palumbo and Stacy walk their way back up the ring, angry, of course, and while The Undertaker is celebrating with the crowd, Chris Benoit, the WWF Intercontinental Champion, manages to slide in the ring without the dead man noticing. He then grabs him from behind, and he keeps hitting him with the German suplex, after German suplex, after German suplex, after German suplex, pretty much taking Taker to Suplex City before Brock Lesnar ever could. And we hear Ric Flair in the background just keep screaming, again, and again, and again, while he keeps hitting him with the, German suplexes until finally Taker's just laying there, kind of knocked out. He's down, and Mentor and Protege, Benoit and Flair, stand over a fallen dead man, pretty much hinting at that Chris Benoit is the one going to step up and accept Shane McMahon's bounty and take out The Undertaker, pretty much. Good rating. I'm excited for this now. Hell yes! We then go to another A-star 100 rating. We're back from our commercial break. The Rock's music plays, and out he comes. The new record-setting 7-time WWF World Champion. Never have we had a 7-time champion yet. He makes his way to the ring, and then he poses for the crowd with the title, of course, before taking the mic, and he says, "Finally, The Rock has come back to Boston," because I assume that's where we're at. But more importantly, finally, the WWF title is back home. Not only home on The Rock's waist, but home to the WWF, because even though Stone Cold Steve Austin isn't a WCW superstar, he sure as hell ain't a WWF superstar either. I think he's made that quite clear. And since WrestleMania, the WWF has been without a champion in this war with WCW. But not anymore, because at Unforgiven, The Rock beat not one, not two, but 3 of the top WWF superstars, or top superstars on the planet, to win his record-setting 7th WWF World Championship. And I'm going to take this world title, and I'm going to lead the WWF to victory in this war against Shane McMahon and the WCW. But first thing The Rock's got to do is he's got to get through either Stone Cold Steve Austin, Chris Jericho, or Diamond Dallas Page. Because at No Mercy, I should say, and then he goes, and The Rock could care less. Because The Rock has his issues with all 3 men. First, there's Stone Cold Steve Austin, a man I respect but I've never liked. A man who beat me at WrestleMania with the help of his sworn enemy. Yeah, The Rock hasn't forgotten how you cheated to beat him, just like I'm going to... what am I trying to say? Just like I'm sure you'll try to do again with your manslave Rhino. If you walk out the #1 contender tonight. And then there's my copycat, Chris Jericho. And I'd say something about him, but I'm sure he'd just copy it and say he came up with it first. And then there's Diamond Dallas past his prime, which The Rock still owes him a beatdown. So let me tell you what The Rock is going to do. He's going to join the King, he's going to join good old JR on commentary, and he's going to find out live who he will face at No Mercy. And then at No Mercy, he's going to lay the smack-a-down on them. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, pretty much just that jazz. Rock comes out, does his first promo since he won the championship, and announces that it doesn't matter to him pretty much who wins this match tonight. He is going to join commentary to watch the match live firsthand and figure out who he will face at No Mercy to defend his championship. So, of course, I let him go off script because he's The Rock. He was the only person in this segment, so of course he was a star, and it gained heat for both our storylines. And that leads us to our main event of the night, Rock... What is this? This leads us to our main event of the night, because I stupidly put the angle first. Main event of the night gets an A-star rating with a 97 in-ring perform, or 97 rating for it, I should say. In an exceptional match, Stone Cold Steve Austin does go on to defeat Chris Jericho and Diamond Dallas Page when Austin defeats DDP with the Stone Cold Stunner. Paige, unfortunately, was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone else's in-ring performance. That's a shame, but it wasn't too bad. Either way, good match for them all. And as we saw from the angle beforehand, Austin does indeed go on to win. And we had a stare down between him and Rock to end off the show. That got us like a B rating, but we're ending with this because I stupidly put the angle behind. So either way, Austin goes on to pretty much confirm that he will indeed be facing off against The Rock at No Mercy. So let's go ahead, book that bad boy in, as we will see a WrestleMania 17 rematch. So we got The Rock, not Teddy Long, battling Stone Cold. There you have it. Let's go ahead and put it on the line. WWF World Championship. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock. Boom. So, of course, we already knew all these before, but we haven't had Rock on the table since. But, of course, Ross and Rock work extremely well together at the announce table. Of course, so is Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler. Jericho with a 93, Austin with 100, and DDP with an 82. So, not too bad. Gained heat for both feuds, as we can assume that this must be Stone Cold versus The Rock. And since we see this here going on, we must just assume that it's Chris Jericho versus DDP. Which, by me saying it, there you go. Not turning him just yet. We end off Raw to get a 96 A-star rating, increasing our popularity in 30 regions, and starting off some promising feuds. So we got a couple decisions here to go with. Either way, Raw report, incredible, absolute success. Injury for Russ Haas. He's apparently going to be trying to work through the pain. He's, there you go. Doesn't tell me how long, though, unfortunately. I thought that said Tony Nese. I was like, what? Bunch of contract signings for, seems like, Extreme Pro Wrestling or whatever. And APW, All Pro Wrestling or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, just a bunch of signings. So Lance Storm, unfortunately, was annoyed by working with a drunk Sandman. Russ Haas was injured, which we know already. Undertaker has an opinion. He says, ooh, Funaki didn't even talk. He didn't even talk, but whatever. Undertaker says Funaki's a natural talker. He is worth giving promo time, in my opinion. All right, dead man. Jericho says Funaki's a natural talker. All right. Jim Cornette says Shawn Stasiak has poor in-ring psychology. The kid is probably not worth keeping around. And Diamond Dallas Page says Sandman just doesn't get it. He can probably be cut loose. So Taker and Jericho feel Funaki is good on the mic. And DDP and Jim Cornette feel Shawn Stasiak and Sandman are not. We have a couple incidents here. So incident involving Sandman. He was drunk. We're going to send him to rehab. Sandman's unhappy. Sandman has seen his personality get worse. Well, while we're continuing it on, soft drug user, I don't really care, to be honest. He's already been sent to rehab. We'll just give him, I guess, a slap on the wrist. I don't care if his personality got worse. I don't care about soft drugs. As long as you're not doing them in the ring. And then if Shawn Stasiak, being a steroid user, of course, going to get fined for it. And here's people that we decided to re-sign. Jimmy Yang and Easy Money were the only developmental stars that looked promising to me. So I went on and, renegotiate with them. And I'm keeping Billy Silverman around because why the hell not? Either way, before we end off this episode, let's go ahead and just fix this up for us real quick. So we now know officially that this will be Chris Jericho versus DDP. So there we have that. We know that this is officially going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock. So let's just go ahead and fix that. Stone Cold versus The Rock. And we know that this is going to be Christian versus Edge. So let's just go ahead and complete that as well. So there you have it. We have all our feuds officially set up. Let's check out the storylines real quick. Jericho and DDP starting off good so far. Edge and Christian with a solid C rating. I thought this gained heat? I guess not. Either way. Doing pretty good there too. Everything's looking good. So other than that, Nerds and Geeks, I think it's about time we end off this episode. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor, leave me a comment, a like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, my name has been OMG WTF LOLFTWBRB, and I will see you, Nerds and Geeks, for Thursday Night Nitro, which will hopefully be uploaded tomorrow. If not, I apologize, and it'll most likely be uploaded on Sunday with Sunday Night Heat. Other than that, though, Nerds and Geeks, I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.